Once, in a glimmering village, nestled beside a frozen lake, there lived a baby penguin, with eyes as wide as his dreams. Every night, under the soft glow of the aurora lights, he would waddle to the village square and stare at the looming silhouette of Mount Icytop, tall, magical, and wrapped in clouds. Many villagers told tales of the magical peak. Only a few heroes had ever made it to the top. One was a legendary polar bear who built snow ladders every day, piece by piece, never missing a morning. Another, a wise old crane, who flapped slowly up the slopes, resting, breathing, trusting the journey with calm patience. And then there was the old snow fox who simply took one step a day, every single day, no matter the storm. The baby penguin's heart burned with hope. He devoured every story, read every book he could find. He listened to motivational tales by the fireside. He painted pictures of himself, standing proudly at the top of Mount Icytop. He was going to climb it. He was going to become great. One morning, with the wind gentle and the sun peeking through the clouds, he declared to his grandpa, "I'm going to the top!" Grandpa Flap, a wise old penguin with kind eyes, chuckled. "It begins with a step," he said, and then another. The baby penguin packed a tiny bag, flapped his tiny wings, and just as he took his first step, a fuzzy blur of energy crashed beside him. It was his best friend, the baby bunny. Hyper, giggly, full of hops and hiccups. "I'm coming too," the bunny cheered. "I heard there's ice cream at the top." The two friends giggled and skipped along, but just as they reached the edge of the snowy path, a new sound echoed. From behind a snow-covered hill came a colorful baby dragon, scales shimmering with every color of the rainbow, eyes sparkling with wonder. "I've been training to climb this mountain," the dragon said with a puff of warm breath. "Can I join?" "Of course," the baby penguin beamed. And just like that, the Motivation Squad was born. At first, it was magical. They sang songs, slid down slopes, and shared stories by the campfire. Motivation was everywhere, the stars, the dreams, the friendship. But soon the climb got steeper, the wind colder, the trails harder. The baby bunny started to hop slower, then skip breaks, then complain. "Ooh, look, a shiny rock." He'd run after it and vanish into the snowdrifts. He'd get bored, distracted, tired. Finally, one day, as the dragon and penguin sat eating a quiet snack, the bunny bounced over, ears drooping. "This is too hard," he said. "I thought it'd be more fun. I'm going back." The baby penguin felt his heart sink. They'd come so far together, but the bunny waved and bounced down the mountain, leaving two tiny footprints behind. The penguin sat in silence, eyes wet, wings trembling. "I don't know if I can do this," he whispered. That night, back at base camp, Grandpa Flap came to visit. He sat beside the little penguin and placed a tiny pebble in his flipper. "When I was your age," Grandpa began, "I stood right where you're sitting. I wanted to reach the top too, but I kept slipping, falling, giving up." The penguin looked up, surprised. "But you're Grandpa Flap? Everyone says you're the wisest." The old penguin smiled warmly. "Because I learned something. Success isn't one giant leap, it's built pebble by pebble." He pointed to a path behind them, a stairway of small pebbles leading up a short hill. "I built those, one pebble every day, even when I didn't feel like it, even when the wind howled. Why? Because our family lived near this snowy hill, and the only way to bring fish home from the lake was to climb this path. If I gave up, my family wouldn't eat, so I kept going, day after day, a pebble at a time." He placed a flipper on the baby penguin's shoulder. "Discipline, little one, that's what carries you when motivation runs out." The baby penguin clutched the pebble tight, and the next morning, even though the snow was deep and the wind cold, the baby penguin got up. The baby penguin walked, but the mountain had its own challenges. Icy winds, steep hills, slippery snow. One day, the baby penguin's foot slipped. He tumbled down a snowy slope. His backpack flew off. His pebble scattered into the snow. The baby penguin lay there, frozen, heart aching, tears steaming on his cheeks. "This is stupid," the baby penguin sobbed. "Dreams aren't real. This mountain is impossible. It's all just a waste of time." And the baby penguin turned back. He walked down, all the way home. Days passed, then weeks. The baby penguin stayed in his room. He stared at the floor. Even Grandpa's warm cocoa didn't help. He felt empty. Then, one misty morning, a whisper rippled through the village. "Did you hear? The baby dragon, he's still climbing. Even alone, even when his fire goes out, even through snowstorms." The penguin peeked out the window. He imagined the dragon, freezing, shivering, but still putting one foot forward. One more step. Then, one morning, the wind changed. The clouds above the peak parted, and a single golden beam of light stretched from the summit. The villagers looked up and gasped. Soaring above the mountain was no longer a baby dragon, but a magnificent, glowing, majestic beast. His wings shimmered like the northern lights. His roar cracked the silence, and his fire danced in golds and violets. He landed softly in the village square. Everyone gathered around, cheering, eyes wide with wonder. At the edge of the crowd stood the baby penguin with shiny black feathers, tiny orange beak, big innocent eyes, wearing a small blue scarf, his heart pounding. The majestic dragon stepped forward, lowered his great shimmering head, and said, "If I can do it, so can you." The penguin's flippers trembled, and something inside his heart sparked again. He reached into his scarf and pulled out Grandpa's pebble, held it in his flipper, and he climbed. Not quickly, not loudly, but steadily. He slipped, he fell, but this time he got back up. He whispered, "Focus, discipline, don't stop." And he placed another pebble. Step by step, he climbed, and one day, when the wind sang gently and the clouds parted like a curtain, he saw it, the summit, the magical peak. And as he took that final step, something happened. Light shimmered around him. His feathers grew sleek and strong. His eyes gleamed with wisdom. And where once stood a baby penguin, now stood a magnificent emperor penguin. He gazed across the sky. The whole world stretched before him. And then he turned back. When he returned to the village, everyone cheered. They ran out of their homes, danced in circles, and Grandpa Flap hugged him tight. But then, hopping through the snow came the baby bunny, eyes wide with joy. "I knew you'd make it," he shouted. The emperor penguin smiled, not because he was finally at the top, but because he finally understood. Motivation starts the journey, discipline finishes it, and somewhere between, even the coldest step becomes the warmest memory. Discipline is doing what must be done, even when you don't feel like it. And sometimes, it's the only thing that keeps us climbing, when everything else says give up. But what happens when life throws dirt on you? When you're not just tired, but buried? That's when a quiet kind of strength awakens. Not loud, not flashy, just a choice to keep going. Let me tell you a story about someone who did exactly that. Not a hero, not a champion, just an old donkey. And how he turned a grave into a way out. Once upon a time, there was an old farmer and an even older donkey. The donkey had served the farmer for many years, carrying loads, plowing fields, and being a loyal companion. But one day, something unexpected happened. The donkey fell into an old, abandoned well. The farmer rushed over and peered down the deep, dark hole. The donkey cried out, frightened, helpless. The farmer tried, he really did, but after a while, he gave up hope. The well was too deep, the donkey was too old. And so he decided the kindest thing to do was to bury the donkey and end his suffering. He called his neighbors. They came with shovels and they began to throw dirt into the well. The donkey understood what was happening. At first, he panicked. He cried louder, he thrashed, he was going to be buried alive. But then, something shifted. With every shovel of dirt that landed on his back, the donkey shook it off and stepped up. He shook it off and stepped up again and again. Dirt fell, he shook it off and stepped up. The farmers kept shoveling, but slowly, they noticed the donkey's cries had stopped. They peered into the well, and there he was, calm, determined, rising. Step by step, shovel by shovel, the donkey climbed higher, until finally he stepped out of the well, dusty, tired, but free. Life will throw dirt on you. Pain, failure, disappointment, betrayal. But every time it does, shake it off and step up, because what was meant to bury you can lift you if you don't give up. So, what do you think? If this happened to you, how would you respond? Would you give up, or would you keep stepping up, no matter how many times life tries to bury you? We all face challenges, big or small, but remember, motivation gives you a dream, and discipline helps you to achieve your dream. And like the old donkey, sometimes the hardest battles lead to the greatest freedom. So stay strong, stay disciplined, and no matter what, never stop stepping up. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Stay happy, and don't forget to click that like button and subscribe. Help someone else by sharing this with a friend who might need a little encouragement today as we face these challenging times together.